Hey, Nicole here. So we're going to do a video on romantic compatibility. We're going to talk about when I have people come to me and they want me to do a romantic compatibility reading, the first thing I have to do is actually analyze that person and actually each individual separately to get an idea for how they're built. You know, we're all very different from one another. For some people, relationship means one thing, and for other people, it means another thing. And so as an astrologer, I have to understand how you were put together so we can see if you're going to be a nice mix, because relationships are chemistry. They're just mixing different parts together and seeing how, if you make a cake or if you make a bowl full of glue, right? So, okay, now first thing I look at after just having done an individual reading for someone, then if we're going to be doing a relationship reading, these are the things you want to look for. So for those of you who are like students of astrology or who are interested in this might be kind of a fun video. First thing you want to look at is check out the person's moon. So our moon shows what we need to feel secure. It's what we need to feel loved, safe, at home. It's the part of our chart that symbolizes everything from our heart, it's our emotions. So you want to see nice moon connections between two people. And the traditional romantic compatibility inner aspect would be the woman's moon to the man's sun. So either they're in the same sign, or they trine each other, or they sextile each other, etc. Even opposing each other is not a bad thing, since that's a little bit yin and yang. But just the moon person, typically when it's the female, it's better to be the woman's moon rather than the man's, because if it's the man's moon, it's not always a bad thing, but it's going to bring out his emotions. So sometimes, depending upon the zodiac sign that moon is in, it can cause the man to feel a little bit emasculated. If, for example, the woman is in a stronger sign, one of the fixed signs or fire signs perhaps, or even like an air sign if they're really cerebral, it can make the man feel like his emotional needs aren't being met. So the moon's important. Second thing that we look at, you're going to want to look at the seventh house. The seventh house represents the other. It's the best friend, it's the partner, it's even the open enemy if you're, in court, on trial. It's the first house is the individual, the seventh house, which is, halfway around the birth chart, that is the house that has to do with partnership. So when we look there, this is not necessarily, we're going to look at the cusp, the zodiac sign on the cusp, okay, the seventh house, that's the descendant. And we're not necessarily going to say, oh, you have a Taurus descendant, therefore your ideal partner is a Taurus. That's not quite how this works. The seventh house shows the relationship. So if, for example, we have someone with a Taurus descendant, then they're going to be interested in a relationship that has steadiness to it, that is one of commitment, that has sort of a traditional type of a relationship, a pretty lusty relationship. And then you're going to look at the ruler of that zodiac sign, which for Taurus would be Venus, and you find on their birth chart where that Venus falls. Look at where that Venus falls. That's a trigger point for you. So when you do synastry between the two charts, if you have a connection between that ruler of the seventh house and the other person's, one of their personal planets, their sun or their moon, the sun if it's a man, the moon if it's a woman, or if you take the relationship chart and you do a synastry between the Davison chart of the relationship to the birth chart of the individual, if there's a trigger to that ruler of the seventh house, then you've got that person or that relationship vibrates or operates, whatever word you want to use, at the same frequency as this person's idea, their projection of what a relationship should feel like. Okay, now after that, we're going to go ahead. If you've gone and you've looked at the rulers of the seventh house, you can also look at the aspects that are being made to the ruler. That's going to show you how this person sort of perceives relationships. So if they've got the ruler of the seventh house in the first house, that's going to tell you relationships important to this person, but they may take it from they may be sort of in a relationship with themselves, so to speak. They could be a little selfish, or, someone who's got it, I'm not going to go through all the houses, but the house placement will flavor the seventh house, that descendant, that cusp of the seventh house. Just looking at my list here so I don't forget anything. Okay, now also sun, moon, midpoint. I really like the sun, moon, midpoint. I just did a video on this. This is one that is ignored a lot, and it's really powerful. Midpoints are incredibly powerful and uncanny. So the sun moon midpoint is just taking either 12 zodiac signs, right? 30 degrees to each zodiac sign because there are 360 degrees in a circle. So you're taking let's say you're a 20-degree Cancer and you've got a 20-degree Capricorn moon, okay? So we're going to take the midpoint between those two, between the sun and the moon, and that's going to give us, it's like showing your balance point between your yin and yang, okay? It's showing us the part of you that would be, so that would be Libra, right? I think that's a Libra, 20-degree Libra midpoint. That would suggest that this person, or is it Aries? It's Aries or Libra. I'm confused right now. I can't think straight, but that would mean that this person would be attracted to an individual who had characteristics like their midpoint, okay? Again, house placement matters. And if you find someone whose sun or moon is conjunct your midpoint or opposite or even sextiling it or trining it are good too. But they will feel like the partner. They'll feel like the one, not from a soulful, soulmatey place, but just kind of, it'll feel like a natural partnership. Like they will reflect your own, they're just a nice balance. They're holding space for this balance between your own inner masculine and feminine. And so this person will feel like a vessel. They'll feel very natural to have a connection with this person, relationship. Now, one that I also, obviously some of the basic things to look at are going to be for sexual needs. You look at your Venus and your Mars. Venus shows us what we value, who we value, also how we like to be valued and validated in return. So Venus is important. It's also going to show, if you look at the Venus and you look at the house that it falls into, because that flavors the Venus as well as the zodiac sign, as always, and then you look again at the accidental ruler of that zodiac sign, of that house where the Venus is at, and of the Venus. Look at where that falls. That will give you a really clear picture about how this person values, or what they value, okay? I'll use mine for example, because I know mine. So Venus in Virgo, which is an earth sign, which is analytical. Obviously, I love astrology. I love categorizing things, thinking through things. You know, Mercury there as well. But anyway, in the first house, which is Aries. So I value and I'm attracted to individuals who represent those two things, right? Who are analytical, who do what they say they're going to do, who are dutiful, because that's very Virgo, but also Arian. I like people who are fiery and very genuine and authentic. That's a mixture kind of the Virgo and the Aries, okay? But then we look at the ruler, both the natural ruler, which is Aries, would be Mars. We look at where Mars falls, and we also look at I've got Leo on the cusp, so where my sun falls. That falls into the Taurus house, my sun, and my Mars falls into the 11th house, which is the Aquarius house. So it also suggests I am attracted to someone who is intelligent. That would be the Mars in that Aquarius house. And also someone who is, in the second house, earthy and lusty, which is true. I'm attracted to someone who is pretty genuine, authentic, smart, and a bit fiery. That's the type of man that I'm attracted to. So at any rate, it's pretty helpful to see just purely on it's more of a, like I said, attraction. It's not necessarily emotionally what you need to feel safe. It's what you want, okay? And now, also to be noted, Virgo is also communication. This is Mercury ruled by Mercury. So it's someone who is a learner, who's conversation, things like that. Anyway. Vertex. Now, your vertex is in your chart. It's an abstract point in your chart. It's going to show your unconscious desires. Vertex is really cool because this is, you may not realize that this is the type of partner you're attracted to. But again, you're going to look at the ruler of your vertex. Where does that fall? What's the house placement? I'll use mine again. I have a Capricorn vertex in the 5th house, which is the Leo house. So this is a combination of Capricorn, Saturnian, 10th house energy with sort of Leo sun. So someone who is, the boss. I like men who are quite masculine and dominant. It's what I'm attracted to. Most of my relationships have been with men who are strong. I'm a strong female, have very strong yang, however you pronounce it, in my personality. So I need a man who's like doubly as strong to kind of tone me down and make me more like the feminine part of the partnership, if that makes sense. And so I do tend to get into relationships with men who are stronger, quite masculine. So at any rate, now North Node, this is the last point. North Node, this is going to show the direction that the individual or that you are headed in as far as on a soul level. So if you're using astrology the way that an evolutionary astrologer would be using astrology, it would suggest that we're here to grow and to learn and to change, right? Make mistakes and then learn from those mistakes, and that we have a particular path that is something that for us is not easy, okay? It's something our soul has not yet mastered. So your North Node will show the direction you're headed in this life and the lessons you've come to here specifically to learn this go around, if you believe in reincarnation. So again, I'll use mine because I know mine. North Node in Libra, that's also my sun sign. So it's when you have your North Node the same sign as your sun sign, it suggests that you know the past. You know the South Node well. My South Node's Aries, which is also my moon sign. So emotionally, I understand Aries very well. Probably the reason why I've been having dreams of the zombie apocalypse lately, and I'm like battling zombies. And my friend Egan just sent me a message that he had a dream about me overseas, battling in some, I don't know, in the military. But anyway, that is the unconscious Aries moon coming out. So with this North Node, this is the part of your like soul path you haven't quite mastered. So when somebody has the same sign as your North Node, or if you look at the ruler of your North Node, if they make some kind of an aspect to the ruler of your North Node, or if the relationship makes an aspect to the ruler of your North Node, that is a person, an individual who is like figuratively on your path. You're going in one direction and they're standing there and you're walking right into them. So they represent, and they have perhaps mastered that particular energy. So when I run into somebody who has strong Libran traits, or someone who, you know, like I said earlier, Venus is what rules my North Node, and it is in the first house, which is in Virgo and Aries. So someone who has these strong characteristics to me will feel you're attracted. There's an attraction there, or you tend to, if you put the chart, your birth chart with a relationship chart, many times you'll see the ruler of your North Node or your North Node itself being aspected by the relationship, Sun or Moon or even Venus, you know, depending on the type of relationship it is. So anyway, that's a quick little rundown. I hope that's helpful and fun for some of you to play with your synastry. If you have questions, just message me. I'm always happy to help you on your astrological journeys. So thanks for watching. Okay, bye.